Welcome, my name is David Hunt, and you know me as the host of America in Crisis, Breaking the Cycle of Addiction. Today, I'm bringing you a different show that is just as serious as losing a loved one to addiction, losing a child. Whether it is from a disease, accident, or other tragedy, nothing is more devastating to a parent. Today, we will bring you someone that is trying to help us celebrate that life through the annual Soul Lantern Walk. Cailin O'Toole created the Haunt Pond Lantern Walk many years ago. Welcome, Cailin. Can you tell us what Soul and Soul Lantern stands for?
Thank you, David, for welcoming me and inviting me here today. Soul is the acronym Spirit of United Lanterns, and we chose that because of the spiritual sense of bringing people together and sharing the fire of the candles.
How did you, I see lanterns are with us today. How did you learn about making lanterns? What do they signify?
Well, there's a lantern parade in Jamaica Plain where 2,000 people walk around the pond, and my children were exposed to that, and Michael really loved it, and yeah. So anyway, that's how I started making them, and they're very simple to make as well.
And how long ago have we been doing this in Woburn? When did you start bringing this to us?
You know, I had to check on that because it's 2006.
Okay. Great, we concur on that one. Tell us about the lanterns. What's it like coming out of the woods when you have the lanterns when the sun goes down? What's it like for people that have never seen it?
Oh, it's really beautiful. Yeah, there you can see it. And it's a decoupage, and we use the tissue paper and water and glue to create these beautiful pieces. This one my daughter did. She's an amazing artist, and the butterflies signify new life, so I wanted to bring that one here.
And can you tell us where and when this event is going to take place?
Yes, Haunt Pond on the Sunday. It's always the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, and we start the walk at 7.
And that's at the Scully Dam site, correct?
That's right.
Which is funny, there's plenty of free parking for that. Also, we're going to do an opening ceremony for a few minutes briefly, and the station, Woburn Public Media, will also be filming this live for our event. So first, thank you very much, Woburn Public Media, to offer to cover the event. Woburn Times will be there taking a couple of pictures, and we can really make something nice about this. So did you have help starting the walk? Did this all you, or did you have some help?
Oh, yes, I had help. It was my son Michael who actually brought the walk to Woburn when it was a classmate that died in a car accident in 2006, and he was heartbroken, and he really loved the community feeling in Jamaica Plain where people did things like walk around the pond, and he thought it would be really great to bring it to Woburn.
Now into our next question. Our guest has been prepped on the next question coming up, so don't call the station saying I'm evil. How could I ask that question? I understand in a tragic turn of events that we lost Michael. What can you tell us about that?
Yes. After he started the Lantern Walk, he did it with us for 2 years, and he was killed in a car accident as well. It was January 27th in 2008. It was, he was out with friends, and you know, he was loyal to a fault, Michael. He would hang out with people, and I'm like, Mike, you know, you gotta be strong for your friends. If you want them to learn, you have to show the way and not just necessarily be with them. And it was, he used to say, oh, Mom, you know, this one's mother and that one's father, and he always wanted to see the kids be everything they could be.
So he's out there with you putting on a walk to help other people cope with a tragedy, and here he is himself involved in a tragedy.
It was remarkable the night that he died. I was reading, I just happened to read this book. You know, this kid read like 12 books in his life, and he used to say to me, Mom, you got to read 5 People You Meet in Heaven. It's the best book. He read this book twice. So I picked that book up that night, and I nearly got through it, and then I was like so tired I couldn't finish reading, and I'm like, I'm almost done, I'm gonna push on through. And I read that book, and I finished that book, and before I could shut the light out, the phone rang to tell me that he had died. I have the goosebumps. It was incredible.
Now, I know Michael obviously through the event, but I don't know him from in person on the street. What was he like growing up as a kid? Let's put a face to Michael. What was Michael like?
And Michael he was a great kid. He was very special, and people loved him everywhere. You know, I thought of one funny story. When he was 3 years old, he had this long, billowing black cape and his Zorro headpiece and his sword, and he used to stand at the end of our driveway holding that sword and watching to make sure that the neighborhood was safe. So he was always like that.
I know he was great when he was doing the event, and I'm so sorry for the loss. What I want to bring out is Michael is a person, a flesh and blood breathing person. He's not a number, and unfortunately when we do this, a lot of people look at statistics and they look at numbers, and it's not a number. This was a living, breathing person that was loved by everybody. Let me ask you, how did you persevere after a family tragedy like that? How does one go on?
Well, it was trying, but realizing that Michael was the one that brought it made it almost a necessity that we would continue. And the year that he was killed, we had more people at the Lantern Walk than any other year. It was amazing how many people walked for Michael. But it has been a challenge to keep it going. But I have some friends of Michael's from high school, and my daughters, and the other people in the community. From Ren, Rodney, he's
Yes.
amazing, and different people that have just pushed me when I wanted to fall off.
No, I'm involved in the walk. I volunteered as an emergency medical tech to help out for safety of the walkers, and I saw how important this is. I mean, I can't ever say I know what it's like to lose a child, but unfortunately, this is the 3rd anniversary of my mom passing away 2 days from now. It's the 3rd anniversary, and it's still tough. And that's a mother that's lived for 86 years old. So I cannot even begin to imagine what it's like to lose a child. So no one can say, yeah, I know how you feel. Guess what? You don't. She's overcome so much, and she's there every year helping others being able to cope with their tragedy. So after you form the walk, why do you keep doing it? Why do you keep doing this year after year?
Well, the lanterns for me, they're a light in the darkness, and I love the colors. I love the simplicity of it. I love that we can gather people together. I mean, we even use these outside in the yard. We'll hang them from trees, and they always make me think of those who have passed.
In fact, my neighbors, the Sweeneys, they have them still from last year hanging up on their,
Oh,
they can't use clotheslines anymore, so they have them out on the clothesline. They really look nice.
that's so sweet.
I see that in 2017, at the first opening ceremony that this event ever had, it was seen live on the station, that you were presented with a proclamation from Mayor Scott Galvin for bringing soul lanterns to Woburn. What was it like to have all your hard work recognized by the mayor of the city? We have that proclamation up on the screen and on the monitor.
David, it was very touching. It really was. It made me feel good about the work that I've done and that all my volunteers have done, friends of Mike's, my family, different organizations, the Mary Cummings Trust Park, Ren.
Let me ask you a question. Everybody hears Mary Cummings Park. It's not the big Cummings Park with the office buildings. What is Mary Cummings Park? Can you give us a couple of minutes on what it's like and who can go to it and why that's so important?
Mary Cummings Trust Park is a trust that a woman who lived in Woburn left to be forever open space for children and the public to be in, because she was a forward thinker and saw that the cities were becoming congested. And I met one of the women from the group who kind of drew me in to the meetings, and I liked the idea that we have this space because I'm a nature girl. I love the plants and the trees and the animals and the butterflies and the bees, all so important in our world.
I keep promising to go up and see it, and for every reason in the world, I haven't been able to see it. What can you tell us what it's like? I understand it's a beautiful view of Boston up there.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and it's a lot of space. And they've done a good job. They've actually bridged the Trust Park from the city of Boston, who owned it, into the trustees of reservations. So we now have a new body to oversee what's going on.
How would I find this park other than Googling it up? Where's it located? What's the best place to go if I want to visit it?
Right off of Blanchard Road.
Okay.
It's up in Woburn and Burlington.
So it's like behind Northeastern, up that area?
Mm-hmm.
So is this a fundraiser? What can you tell us about the event? I know it's a very minimal amount of money you ask for to walk. It was like $5 a lantern, $10 depending on how nice they look.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do? The money obviously goes to Mary Cummings Park. Is it a fundraiser for them, or what's the idea behind it?
Well, it hasn't raised a great deal of funds over the time, but they always appreciate the little bit of funds they have for their the work that they did, and they still owe money on the work that they did. How long this is with Mary Cummings? Well, for now it is, and I appreciate the idea that even though it's a memorial for those who have died, that like one of my daughters said to me at one point, "Mom, you have 4 live children." So it's to focus on the life beyond, that we still have life worth living beyond death.
Today I put the show together because I fully believe in the mission that Cailin is making for everybody. But this event does need to grow. It's a very small event. I don't understand why so few people attend this. Maybe it's no publicity. I don't ever see it in the paper. I do know that the Woburn Times Chronicle has been kind enough to put it in a couple of PSAs for us. I know Rodney Flynn has been blasting it out on emails. This is 1 hour once a year on a Sunday night before Memorial Day. This is something to come out. If you've lost a child, lost a loved one, or you just want to come and support other people that have, we would love to have you there. You don't have to buy a lantern. It is no cost to walk at all. If you want to buy a lantern, like I said, like $5, $10, $20 for a lantern, you don't have to purchase one, just your support being there. But to walk around Hon Pond, see the lanterns lit, come out. We're going to be showing a link later on the end of the show. We did a live broadcast of 2 years ago on the 12th annual event. This is the one where Cailin was receiving her proclamation, which you've seen on the screen. It shows people being interviewed and coming out of the woods. We're going to give you guys a link to that. But when you come out of Hon Pond and you see a trail of lanterns all walking around lit up, it is a very, very moving experience. Especially by the end, you have the Angel of Hope statue. That, of course, is by another organization that celebrates the life of people that we've lost, and that's a great organization. But people do gather around that as inspiration before they finish coming out of our walk. We do have the pictures they're leaving, coming. Angel of Hope would be on the left, and this is a view of some of our walkers coming across with the lanterns lit. Why is it so important to you to grow the event? You've broken your rear end to get this going. Why is this something she has, honestly? The girl is what she does. We've got Cailin up in New Hampshire. She's helping in this. We've got Steve O'Leary, is it? Mm-hmm. He's involved. Rodney Flynn, of course, from Wren.
Sarah Bedrick, she's helping this year.
She's coming back?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I'll get my picture at the checkpoint. Every year she has to pause at the checkpoint. It's one of those things. We knew each other for years at the event for a whopping 10 minutes. Wonderful, wonderful girl who started this event with Cailin and really put her heart and soul into this. In fact, everybody that's on the volunteer committee has put their heart and soul, whether it's making lanterns, getting the location, going out. These just don't form themselves. It takes time. I'm there for an hour doing first aid, and nobody gets hurt. So I have an opening ceremony to do. But I mean, this is so important to people. Just the inspiration when they come out that they can talk among their friends. And it's a way to cope. The whole idea is coping with what happened. There are numerous families there that have lost somebody, and as they can get together and talk together and form a network. So I mean, I really do have to commend Cailin for what she's put this through, and not just her, but every volunteer, every walker. This is nothing without the walkers. It's also nothing without the volunteers. And of course, Cailin and Michael, may he rest in peace for everything that he's done. I mean, I wish I got to know him more than other than just seeing him at the event. And this is why we're doing this. I'm trying to get this pushed out. Why don't we read the quote? Okay.
Right. So, and Cailin Young. So here I am, Cailin O'Toole, and she has been there since the beginning to help me start this. And this is what Cailin Young had to say. It's important to grow this event for a few different reasons. The first is that it can bring a peace to those who have lost a loved one. Whether you make a lantern or gather to walk or even sit with others, there is a sense of peace, tranquility, and connectedness to your loved ones, their memory, and the community, which is another reason. Community, we continue to grow, a fellowship amongst us. In a time when it is easy to avoid human interaction we so desperately need, continuing to hold community events and demonstrate for the children what it means to be part of something bigger than themselves. And of course, to offer others who are grieving as well an opportunity to participate by holding their own lantern workshop or volunteering to help. And for me, Cailin Young that is, stepping outside of myself and giving time, freely helping others also helped me. Sharing time, energy, and love with others helps us grow and become stronger. And I just really loved that.
It's very well said.
Isn't it so beautiful?
Now, what we're looking at here is this is the final checkpoint. We have several checkpoints along the way for water stops. We have to, of course, thank Pepsi for donating the water and beverages. This year I chip in and I donate snacks to you guys. Yes, they're healthy, I'm sorry, but it's a healthy thing. And there's a couple of the walkers that wanted to pose with us. This is about, actually I look good in that picture. It's probably about 10 years ago when they took that one. I look a lot younger back then. And this is one of the vehicles we use to make sure that everybody's safe, along with the Medical Reserve Corps for the City of Woburn, Steve Morris. He comes and helps us out with the medical. He takes some pictures for us. What I'm doing, again, it's the volunteers that are so important on this. If I want to come down, I'm looking at the lanterns again. If I'm in the community and I wanted to come down and make a lantern, is there someplace I can come and help you?
Well, across 14 years, there's been different ways we've been making lanterns. We held public workshops at Whole Foods, which was a lot of work, and we ended up with more people from Winchester than Woburn, so that one kind of fell away when I had some health issues. And we also had a great big one when Michael died. We had the Sons of Italy Hall, which was awesome. But in order to get a hall and make that work, it was just so much more organization than I could handle. And so now we have the offer for people to ask us, and we can help them have a workshop of their own, or yeah.
Are you on Facebook, or do you have a website? How does somebody look up the event?
Yes, absolutely, and thanks to the young people again. They have us, you can search on Facebook, and Soul Lanterns is on Facebook. And the website is soullanterns.weebly, which is like weekly, only with a B for boy, weebly.com.
We will have that at the bottom of the screen, so you don't have to write it down. So. Now, how can someone register to walk? Do I go on that site, or is there a number to call, or how would I register if I want to come and do the walk?
Well, there's not really a register format. People come if they would like, and you could walk or you could sit on a bench. Sometimes people just sit on the bench and watch others. But if you want to reach out to us, we'd love that. We have one group from Braintree reached out, the Sun Will Rise Foundation.
Okay.
And she wants to have a lantern making workshop and come and walk with us in Woburn, which is amazing.
That'd be great.
And this year we're also going to have a speaker, Kate Genovese, who wrote the book Hat Tricks from Heaven.
Okay.
After her son died.
And she'll be speaking at our opening ceremony, which is about 5-10 minutes, so we're not going to sit there for half an hour, like I did to Cailin last time. But on a serious note, now we had a beautiful opening ceremony a couple years ago. We will send you the link to this, and it shows everybody's hard work and what it's like. Do you have any last words you'd like to give our viewers? What would you like to leave us with? Final thoughts?
Yes. My final thoughts would be for the young people to be inspired. This is why I was driven to start this event. It's an opportunity to be in nature, to be together in nature. It's simple, sharing the element of fire, which can be so difficult for us to gather around. That the water brings us together at the beach. We have the land and the air, and fire is something that's harder to get to. And I would just love to remind the young people to take the time to listen to the birds and look at the trees and check out the flowers and just be part of nature and let nature be part of you, and find that joy and love and happiness within yourself. Be true to yourself. Those would be my final words.
Very well put. Now, just to go over real quick, this is going to be on Memorial Day weekend on Sunday evening. The event will actually start at 7 o'clock. If we can get people to come 6:30, 6:45, so you get a parking space, get your lanterns, pick them out, get ready to go. We'll start our opening ceremony at 7 o'clock, and we will take off from there. Now, this, for people that don't know about Horn Pond and Woburn, this is 2.5 miles around the pond. So almost all ages can do this. Young, old, anybody. Even I can do it. So I would like to thank our guest, Cailin O'Toole, for appearing today and sharing her story. If you would like to join us at this year's walk, again, it starts at 7 p.m. at the Scully Dam side of Horn Pond and Woburn. Registration again is at 6:30. You can purchase a decorated lantern for $5, $10, or $20. If you want to walk, and there is no fee whatsoever to register and walk. You can also sign up at another website here at soullanterns@gmail.com if you have a question for our guest. Again, that's soullanterns@gmail.com. Somebody will get back to you. Now, a couple of thank yous. Special thanks to Steve Morris of the Medical Reserve Corps for the City of Woburn for sharing some of the pictures he took for this show, and his team for providing medical stations throughout the walk. Thanks to Pepsi for donating the water, and DPHEM for the snacks and additional photos, and to all the volunteers that made this walk possible. And again, a very big thank you to the Woburn Public Media Center. Without them, we could not get the word out. You got a fantastic group of people here that work, and we can't thank them enough. With that, good evening, and I hope to see everybody on Sunday night. Thank you.